Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Michael Fortin. I am the Director of Promotion for the Maine Tax Portal here at Maine Revenue Services. I am joined by our panelist, Lisa Grayton, Deputy Director of the Income and Estate Tax Division, and it's my pleasure to be your MC for our webinar, which is for Unorganized Territory, or UT, property tax. This is training directed towards those who own property in the unorganized territories of Maine and pay property tax directly to Maine Revenue Services. Today, we will provide an overview of the new Maine Tax Portal that became available on October 15th, 2024, which marked our fourth and final rollout of the Maine Tax Portal. The portal is now open for individuals and Maine businesses to file and pay taxes, view notices, and much more. You can visit the MTP information page to learn more about the portal, and we will demonstrate that page a little later today. Let me give you the address. It's maine.gov/revenue/portal. I'll give that to you again. It's maine.gov/revenue/portal. Before Lisa gets started with her presentation, I have a few housekeeping items to review with everyone. First, the raise hand button at the bottom of the Zoom screen will not be used for today's session, although you'll have many opportunities to ask questions. Attendees can ask questions by using the Q&A feature at the bottom of your Zoom screen, and Lisa will answer as many questions as possible live. And if we're unable to address your question for some reason today, then we will follow up via email following the webinar. There may be times when you'd like Lisa to repeat a step that you've missed, or perhaps you're simply unable to watch the entire session today. Therefore, it would be helpful to know that today's webinar is being recorded and can be viewed by anyone who's registered. We'll be sending out a link in everyone's email tomorrow where you can go to the Zoom website and view the recording. There are no documents or presentation materials that you'll need for today's webinar. Feel free to take notes, but know you can always re-watch the recorded material anytime you'd like to review it. And finally, we should be reminded there can be unexpected technical challenges. We need to remember that Lisa is speaking to you live. Therefore, we appreciate your understanding and ask for your patience if we should experience any technical difficulties. That concludes all of our housekeeping items. But before we get started, one last point is, along with Lisa, we have Heather, we have another Lisa and Sam today, all behind the scenes helping us with the demonstration of the Maine Tax Portal. We'd like to thank them for their assistance. Lisa, let's get started.
Okay. Hello, and thank you for joining our presentation today. We are very excited to hold this webinar training session specifically designed for Maine unorganized territory property owners. Today's session will demonstrate the ease of Maine Revenue Service's new electronic filing and payment system, the Maine Tax Portal. Throughout today's demonstration, we will use fictitious owner information and our testing environment. Let's get started. Today, we will discuss and demonstrate 6 topics. First, how to view property tax assessment and bill information for your unorganized territory property. Second, how to make a property tax payment using the prior version of an unorganized territory tax bill. Third, how to make a property tax payment using the new version of an unorganized territory tax bill. Fourth, how to provide your response to the Unorganized Territory Real Property Annual Inventory Status Form. And fifth, how to submit a homestead exemption application. And last, the 6th point will be how to submit a tree growth land use classification application. As Mike mentioned earlier, feel free to add your questions to the Q&A portion at any time, and we will respond to you. Also, please know that if you miss a section of the presentation, you can rewatch the recorded session as many times as needed once you receive the recording link in your email tomorrow. We will begin by demonstrating how you can locate tax assessment and tax bill information for your unorganized territory property. To do this, we go directly to the Maine Revenue Services website at maine.gov/revenue. Once there, we locate the tab labeled Taxes, and we then click on Property Tax. A new screen displays all of the property tax information. We see a menu on the left side and we choose Unorganized Territory. Another screen brings us to all things UT. I'd like to draw your attention to the bottom center where there are links for the valuation books as well as the tax maps and other information. In the interest of time, we will not show you each link today, but please know this is your one-stop shop for UT information for your property. Next, we will show you how to access the main tax portal so we can proceed with specific demonstrations on its use. Returning to this MRS home screen, we can access the main tax portal in two different ways. We could locate the Electronic Services drop-down menu and choose the main tax portal, or we could utilize the green main tax portal square. So going to the portal now, we would like to demonstrate the second and third items for today's agenda, which is how convenient the main tax portal is when you wish to make a payment towards your unorganized territory property tax bill. The portal eliminates the need to write a check and mail it to MRS or to find the time to call for a credit or a debit card payment. You can use the portal 24 hours a day and make the payment on your schedule. Because we have just transitioned to the main tax portal, some property owners may have unpaid bills issued from our prior computer system. We will show you how to make a payment using that prior bill information. We will also show you how to make a payment using future billing statements that you will receive from our new computer system. To begin, we'll take a look at the main tax portal homepage. We can see there is a login section in the upper right side of the screen. We will not use this area today as everything a property owner can do is considered a non-logged in activity. This makes the process so much easier for owners to use the portal for their purposes. If we continue down the screen, we can see many panels of information and actions a user could take. We would like to draw your attention to the Property Taxes panel and to a link labeled Unorganized Territory Actions and Applications. Let's choose that link now, and we're going to spend a lot of time on this particular screen today. So we see this screen has several panels and additional actions a user could take as it relates to unorganized territory property owners. Let's take a look at the Quick Links panel. We can see two payment choices on the screen: make a bill payment and make an estimated payment. The choice you make depends on the version of the bill that you have in front of you. We will demonstrate both of those payment methods now. Let's start with the prior tax bill version for any bill issued before October 15th of 2024. The prior bill looks like this, with owner information blocked out for privacy purposes. Perhaps it slipped your mind to pay this bill by the October 1st due date, and now you want to take advantage of this new electronic payment system. So to do this, we will choose the link titled Make an Estimated Payment. We are now asked which type of payment we would like to make. So we will choose Unorganized Property Tax Payment from the menu and UT Real Property Tax for our account type. We are now prompted to input our property information. This ensures that the payment is truly intended to be made towards an unorganized territory property and not towards a municipality property tax bill. MRS only collects property tax for the unorganized territory property owners of Maine. So we're inputting the County of Somerset and the Township of T6R19. We do not know our account ID or our unorganized territory ID, so we're going to select I don't know my ID. We then input our map as SO049, our plan as 2, and our lot as 2. And we'll select Next to perform a search for this property. Our results display in the table below, and there's an error message informing us that we must make a selection from the results. So we see that John Jones is listed with the same map, plan, and lot as we entered. This is the correct account, so we'll select that by checking the box and then select the next button again. We're asked to input our mailing address. Today we will use the mailing address for MRS, but you would input your mailing address here. We're also required to use the blue link at the bottom to verify that the formatting of our address meets U.S. Postal Service formatting requirements. After we've successfully used the link, we see the message changes to address has been verified. Let's proceed to the next screen. We now enter the payment amount we wish to remit, which is $1,200. We are asked if we wish to pay with our bank account, otherwise known as direct debit, or by credit or debit card. We will choose direct debit today and then next. We input our bank routing number and then the account number twice for confirmation. We also designate that this is a checking account. And lastly, we confirm the $1,200 payment amount again and select next. We're provided a summary of our transaction and the opportunity to use the previous button at the bottom of the screen to step back and make any corrections if one was needed. Everything appears correct, so we will proceed by selecting Submit. We're asked to input our valid email address, which serves as confirmation of our payment request and also allows MRS to email a confirmation message to us. And once we've input that message, we will select OK. A confirmation screen displays the confirmation number, the type of submission request, as well as the amount paid. You may also click on the Printable View button to print a receipt. MRS does recommend that you save this information for your records. We should also mention that this is the same process of using Make an Estimated Payment is also very helpful if you wish to remit monthly payments throughout the year towards your future UT property tax bill. Let's click OK now to return to the portal. Now we're going to demonstrate how to make a payment on a new property tax bill. So any bill issued after October 15th of 2024. An example from our testing environment is on your screen now. Please notice the upper right-hand corner has a letter ID and a letter date. All future letters will have this information. Going back to the portal, we're going to choose the other payment option of Make a Bill Payment. We'll now input that letter ID and letter date from the letter we just viewed, and we'll choose Next to continue. Notice that we were not asked to input the property parcel information for this payment application, as the letter ID is already associated with a parcel in our system. Inputting this specific letter information allows MRS to know which account your payment should be applied to. Again, this only works with new bills, as only the new bills contain this letter ID information. Now, the payment application is asking if we are paying towards multiple properties. We are not, so we'll select No and then Next. Now we can see the amount of our account balance, and we are asked to input our payment amount. We do wish to pay this in full, so we're going to enter that balance amount as our payment amount. And we're also asked if we wish to pay with our bank account or credit or debit card. So we will choose direct debit and then Next. We're going to input our bank routing and account information. We'll also designate this as a checking account. And again, the next portion of the screen asks us to confirm that payment amount again. And we'll select Next to proceed. We are provided a summary of our transaction, and we're given the opportunity to step back if any changes are needed. Everything is correct, so we'll proceed by selecting Submit. And now we enter our valid email address twice for confirmation. And it does confirm that we are intending to make this payment request and allows MRS to provide a confirmation email to you. And now we see a confirmation screen display for that payment that we just submitted. Again, with payments, MRS does recommend that you retain this information for your records. And let's click OK to return to the portal. Now we will transition to the fourth item of our demonstration agenda today, how to provide your response to the Unorganized Territory Real Property Annual Inventory Status Form. Each spring, owners of UT Real Property receive an annual inventory form that they must respond to regarding any changes made to their unorganized territory real estate. The letter will now look like the version you see on your screen. The easiest way to respond to this letter is through the main tax portal, and we will show you this now. Going back to the portal, we're going to choose the link, Respond to a Letter. Now we'll input that letter ID and letter date from the letter that we just viewed on our screen. And then we'll choose the search button. The search returns the letter type for verification. This does match the title of our letter, so we'll select Continue. We are now provided with the same instructions as listed on the letter. We do understand the request is to update our real property account, so we choose to continue by selecting Next. Our real property account information is now displayed for review, including the map, plan, and lot designation. This information should match the account information printed on the letter, as well as the information the owner is familiar with. It does, and so we'll continue to the next screen. We're now given the opportunity to input a physical location if the property has one. Our parcel does not have a physical location designation that's separate from the map plan lot designation. So we'll just continue on to the next screen. We're now asked to verify if the mailing address on file is correct. If you enter no, you would be asked to input the updated mailing address on the next screen. Our address is correct, so we will select yes and then next. Now we come to the beginning of the annual inventory questions. No portion of our property has been conveyed since April 1st of last year, so we answer no. There is not a new or different mobile home on the property, so we answer no. We have made a change to a structure since April 1st of last year as we built a small camp, so we answer yes. And we have had no other building changes, so we answer no. Then we'll continue to the next screen. Because we answered that a structure had changed, we are now prompted to input data about the structure. To do this, we click the blue plus sign in the table. We input that we added a structure. The type was a camp. It was 15 feet in length and 15 feet in width. It is a one-story and has wood posts for the foundation. There is no basement, and the roof is corrugated metal. The interior is finished in pine boards, and the exterior is finished in wood shingles. The floors are covered with laminate, and the heating system is direct vent gas. There is one full bathroom. The electrical is solar. There is a drilled well, and the septic is a holding tank only. We input that the project is not complete And then we input an explanation of what is left to complete. We intend to add a full septic in the next 6 months. And then we'll select the Add button. We can see the entry we just made now appears in the table. If we had other structure changes to report, we would repeat these steps for each change. This was our only change, so we will continue to the next screen. The additional information screen allows for free text input of any additional information the UT property owner wishes to share with MRS. We also see that an overhead view sketch of any new or expanded structures is requested. We have a sketch of our new camp, so we'll choose the Add Attachment button. We choose the type of file to attach from the choices, so we'll choose Structure Sketch. We'll locate our file, and then we'll click OK to attach it. And we can see the attachment now appears in the table on the screen. We could repeat that step for any other attachments that we wanted to include. This is our only attachment today, so we will continue on to the next screen. We are now asked to provide directions to your property in the event that MRS property tax staff need to perform a site visit. Now, obviously, we're interjecting a bit of humor here, but you would provide driving directions in this space. Let's continue to the next screen. We see a summary of our input, noting that this property does have a status change. We continue to our next screen. The declaration screen requires the property owner or agent submitting this annual inventory form to check the box to declare that the information in this submission is true and correct to the best of their knowledge. We then input the name of the person completing the declaration twice for confirmation. And then we select Submit to transmit this information to MRS. We're also asked to input our valid email address, serving as confirmation of the inventory response and allowing MRS to email a confirmation message to us. Once we input that email address twice, we'll select OK. And then we see a confirmation screen confirming our successful inventory response submission. And you may save this for your records. Let's choose OK to return to the portal. So we're going to move on to our fifth demonstration point, how to submit a homestead exemption application. All of the exemption applications are available on the portal. However, we're just going to demonstrate how to complete the most common one today. So again, we will navigate to the Property Taxes panel, and we'll choose Unorganized Territory Actions and Applications. And now we'll locate the Real Property panel, and we could see 4 links for all 4 of the exemption applications. Today, we will choose the link for the homestead exemption application. We are required to input our property information to ensure we are submitting our homestead application to the correct place. Only homestead applications for UT ownership are submitted to MRS. All other homestead applications are submitted to the municipal assessor in the municipality where you live. So we input the County of Franklin and the Township of Madrid. This time we do know our unorganized territory ID, so we select that as the ID type, and then we'll input our ID. We select the search button, and then we see the results of the property listed at the bottom of the screen. The owner's name is a link, so we will select that now. We see an instruction page that informs us that the homestead exemption provides a reduction of up to $25,000 in value of your home for property tax purposes. It also lists the qualifications. You must be a permanent resident of Maine. The home must be your permanent residence. You must have owned a home in Maine for the 12 months prior to applying, and the application must be filed on or before April 1st. Seasonal camps still do not qualify for the homestead exemption since they are not considered a permanent residence. Additionally, a Maine resident cannot take more than one homestead exemption if they own multiple homes. Only one home will be considered your permanent residence. This property is Tommy's permanent residence, so we proceed to the next screen. We answer yes, that he is a permanent resident of Maine. Yes, that he has owned a homestead in Maine for the 12-month period ending April 1st. No, he has not owned another homestead in Maine. And yes to the declaration that this property is his permanent residence. Then we continue to the next screen. We are now prompted to enter demographic information. We input Tommy Smith as the sole owner and 1 Main Street as the physical location. Lastly, we input Tommy's phone number. Again, we're using the property tax phone number today, but you would input your phone number here. Let's proceed to the next screen. Now we'll input Tommy's name and mailing address. And once entered, we will need to use the verify address link at the bottom of the screen. And now we see the address has been verified with that check mark, and we'll continue on. We are now asked some questions to verify our Maine residency. Tommy does file Maine resident income tax returns. He has the same address on his driver's license. He uses the same address on his fishing license. He does pay motor vehicle excise tax in Madrid and is a registered voter in Madrid. And we continue on. The declaration screen requires the person completing this application to check the box to declare the application is true and correct. Then we input the name of the person who's filing this twice for confirmation and select submit. And we're prompted to enter our email address twice for confirmation. Now we see a confirmation screen for the homestead application that's been transmitted to MRS for review. Let's click OK to return to the portal home screen. And we will move on to our final demonstration point, how to submit a tree growth land use classification application. All of the land use classification applications are available on the portal. However, we are only going to demonstrate how to complete the most common one. So let's navigate to the property taxes panel. And again, we'll choose the unorganized territory actions and applications link. And then back to the real property panel. The last link is titled Land Use Classification Application. We are again required to input our property information to ensure we're submitting this current use application to the correct place. So we'll input the County of Somerset and the Township of T6R19. And we do also know our unorganized territory ID. So we'll select that and input the ID. And then we'll use the search button. And we see the results at the table in the bottom of our screen. We'll click on the owner's name as it's a link. And we see an instruction page that informs us that proceeding will allow us to select the land use classification program that we are applying for from tree growth, open space, farmland, or working waterfront. We're in the right spot, so we're going to proceed to the next screen. And we're going to select tree growth tax law program as our classification type, and then next. We are now provided with the legal requirements to be eligible for tree growth. We do meet these requirements, so we will proceed to the next screen. We are now asked which type of tree growth application we are submitting. In the interest of time, we will not demonstrate all 5 application choices today. We will demonstrate an existing classified parcel with new forest plan, which is something an applicant must do every 10 years. We make that selection and proceed to the next screen. We input our softwood acres as 10, our mixed wood acres as 25, and our hardwood acres as 50. We see the total acres of forest land populates for us, and it is correct, so we'll proceed to the next screen. We now enter the acreage of land unsuitable for tree growth, which is 3 acres of natural water area and 17 acres of wetlands. And then we'll continue to the next screen. We are now asked about our property's other acreage breakdown. We do have a Class 2 road consisting of 2 acres, but we have no other items to report. So we'll continue on to the next screen. We see a breakdown of our parcel information displayed. If the breakdown and the total acreage didn't match our records, we could use the previous button at the bottom of the screen to step back and make any needed corrections. This does match our expectations, so we'll proceed. We are now asked to provide information on the forester who has prepared and approved our forest management plan. So we input Frank Forester, his license number, his telephone, October 1st, 2024 as the date the plan was prepared, October 1st, 2034 as the date the plan expires, and September 1st, 2024 as the date the parcel was inspected. And we'll select next. We now input the owner information for this application. We'll input John Jones, his email, and his telephone number. And we'll select next. We now input John's mailing address, ensuring that we are using that blue address verification link at the bottom. Once verified, we'll select next. The property location information displays for us and matches our records, so we'll select next. We're now brought to the attachment screen, where we are required to attach a map of the parcel and the attestation signature of the licensed forester who approved the forest plan. If you did not already have those documents saved to your computer, you could use the Save Draft button at the bottom of your screen to save your progress to this point and then access the application once you have the documents available to attach. We do have our documents handy today, so we will choose the Add Attachments button. We'll select the type. We'll add a description. We'll choose our file. And then we'll select OK to add that. We'll repeat these same steps for the second attachment. And now that both documents have been attached, we can see them at the bottom of the screen in the table, and we can proceed to the next screen. The declaration screen requires the person completing this application to check the box to declare that the application is true and correct. We'll enter the name of the person twice for confirmation. And then we'll select Submit to transmit this application to MRS for review. And we do have to enter that email address. That allows a confirmation message to be sent to you. And we see the familiar confirmation screen for this tree growth reapplication now. Let's click OK to return to the portal's home screen. And that concludes our demonstration of common actions that an owner of Maine unorganized territory property could take using the Maine tax portal. I'll toss it back to Mike now for some important closing announcements. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Great job. We'd like to invite our audience to please ask any questions you may have and to enter those into the Q&A area at the bottom of your screen. We'll wait a few minutes for those final questions to come in. While we're waiting, let's take a look at the Maine Tax Portal information page, which provides a wealth of information to assist in our understanding of the Maine Tax Portal and how to use the system. Right now, we're looking at Maine Revenue Services homepage. The address is maine.gov/revenue. And we're going to scroll the page down and we're going to look under the heading Important Updates. And we'll see the third link from the top says important information about the Maine Tax Portal. We're going to go ahead and click that link. And that'll bring us right to the Maine Tax Portal, Maine Tax Portal information page. And you'll see at the top of the page just a general introduction about the system. There's a short video clip there if you'd like to watch that and give you just some general information about the portal. But beneath that, you'll see 4 rollout boxes, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and those are the different phases or rollouts of the Maine Tax Portal that have been implemented over the last several years. The most recent rollout, of course, was just completed in October, our final rollout. So now the system is fully implemented. And so if you're interested in learning just more about the different tax types that are in the portal, you can visit this page and hover over the boxes. And just beneath the rollout boxes, we have some buttons. We're going to take a look at some of these. The first one, just to describe it, is the Maine Tax Portal login button. It just provides a quick way of jumping from this page over to the portal itself to perform any logged in or non-logged in activities on the system. The next button are the FAQs. We're going to click that and take a look. The FAQs are questions that have been submitted by prior attendees of webinars, and there's listed here with all of their answers, so you can find them easily. If there's a question that comes to mind, after today's webinar, and you're not sure where to go, check out the FAQs. There's a good chance that the question is listed there with its answer, and it's just a great way to learn about the portal. We're going to click back now, and the next button are the instructional videos. We're going to click that for a moment. The instructional videos are a resource as well. It provides a short narrated video of each function and feature of the Maine Tax Portal. And if there's a question about something new that you've not had an opportunity to explore and you want to learn more about it, it's there for you and available there 24/7. So you can have that as a resource. We're going to go ahead and click back now. And then just a couple other buttons. Those are resources for kind of self-explanatory there, the payroll service provider one. But for tax professionals, if there are any tax professionals in the audience, or if you work with tax professionals, this just provides resources for them to help their clients get more familiar with the Maine Tax Portal and transition to the Maine Tax Portal. At the bottom of the page, the olive green colored section, we can see information about webinars. The upcoming webinars are to sign up for additional sessions. We're moving towards the end of the webinar series for this fall. We do have a couple of topics left. If they apply and you feel like you would like to attend those, please be sure to sign up. We'd love to have you join us. If you would like to see recordings of past webinars, those are all listed there as well, even from the prior rollouts. 2 or 3, for example. If you were not able to attend those and would like to learn more information about those tax types as they were introduced into the main tax portal, those are great to watch and available for you. At the end of the session today, of course, all of you will be receiving a link in your email to watch the recording, so you don't need to wait for it to be posted to the website. But soon, in the near future, a link for today's session will be made available to the general public for those who would like to learn more. And if you need to contact us, we have a couple of contact information, a couple of numbers I want to give you. The first is listed right on the page here, right underneath the rollout boxes. You'll see the phone number and the email address for the taxpayer assistance area. That's our taxpayer contact center, and that team is dedicated to helping people with questions about the portal itself. More specifically, if you have questions about like how to log in and usernames for any logged in activities, that team can assist you. And their phone number is listed there at 207-624-9784. I'll give that to you again, 207-624-9784. Their email address is taxpayerassist@maine.gov. Once again, taxpayerassist@maine.gov. Now, if you have questions more specific for property tax, then the best place to call will be the Property Tax Division, and I'll give you their phone number and email address. It is not listed on this page, but it is listed on our main main revenue services website, but I'll give it to you here so you'll have it conveniently. It's 207-624-5600. So once again, 207-624-5600. And their email address is prop.tax@maine.gov. Once again, prop.tax@maine.gov. So we thank you for that. I believe we're here moving towards the end of our webinar series today, and appreciate all your questions. Before we close out, we would like to thank Lisa for a great presentation, and her team, Lisa, Heather, and Sam, as well. And we'd like to thank all of our attendees for taking the time out of your afternoon to join us today and learn all about the Maine Tax Portal. As a reminder, we have recorded today's webinar, and we will send out a link in your email tomorrow where you can watch the recording. We'd like to recap a few of the important points that we discussed today, that the Maine Tax Portal is now open for individuals and most Maine businesses to file and pay taxes, view notices, and much more. And specifically, the unorganized territory property tax went live on October 15th, 2024. So that is active, and you can visit the MTP information page to access all of the resources that I told you about, the instructional videos and the FAQs. That web address, one more time, is maine.gov/revenue/portal. And if you have property tax specific questions, you can contact the Property Tax Division directly at 207-624-5600, and their email address, prop.tax@maine.gov. And for those questions for the Taxpayer Contact Center, where questions about usernames and passwords in the portal itself, you can contact their team at 207-624-9784, and their email address at taxpayerassist@maine.gov. We'd like to now conclude our webinar today. We thank you again so much for joining us, and we wish you a great rest of your day.